Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar this month on maximizing employee well-being with behavioral coaching. This webinar is brought to you by Workplace Peace Institute Leadership Academy, and it is part of our new Paradigm Leadership Education series. We are so happy to see you all here today. At Workplace Peace Institute, we offer a variety of coaching services to support professionals in navigating complex challenges so that they can achieve their individual potential. Here at Workplace Peace Institute, we're really focused on creating workplace cultures of peace and dignity. And we know that it's really critical that leaders have the skills and the competencies to really support the folks that they lead in really being able to achieve their potential. And we know coaching is an important part of that. So here at Workplace Peace Institute, we are singularly focused on creating workplace cultures where all people thrive. And we know that when people thrive, individuals thrive. Next slide. I'm very excited that Sherry Boxall is going to be presenting today's webinar. Sherry is one of our leadership coaches. She's our behavioral health coach, and she also works with our clients in supporting them through trauma healing, specifically through the modality of somatic experiencing. She brings almost 2 decades of experience in holistic health to her behavioral health coaching clients, and she's dedicated her life to empowering others on their wellness journeys. Her expertise encompasses a diverse range of coaching practices, from somatic health coaching to transformational executive coaching and embodied breathwork instruction. Her approach is deeply rooted in fostering personal growth and optimal performance among professionals across a myriad of industries. I have also had the experience and honor of having the opportunity to be coached by Sherry, and I hold her in the highest regard. So I'm really excited for all of you to have some time with her today. This webinar is being recorded towards the end of our time together. I'll end the recording and open it up for questions. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Sherry.
Thanks, Robin. And hi, everyone. It's great to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really thrilled to get to spend this time with you and explore how behavioral health coaching can make a real difference to your leadership and personal well-being at work. So behavioral health coaching is a supportive process that helps you to better understand your mind and your body's reaction to stress. It's not just about giving yourself these quick tips or techniques like mindfulness and breathing exercises, although those certainly help. But it goes deeper, helping you to recognize and shift patterns of stress that might be holding you back. So a big part of my own journey has involved exploring how our bodies, I should keep up with my slides. Here we go. So a big part of my own journey has involved exploring how our bodies and our minds are deeply connected. And I've trained in areas such as health coaching, life and leadership coaching, breath work, somatic experiencing, and attachment-focused approaches. So over time, I've discovered something important. Our bodies naturally respond to stress in ways that once kept us safe and helped us cope. The challenge arises when these stress reactions become automated habits, even when they're no longer helpful. My coaching approach uses a blend of cognitive and somatic body-based techniques. In simple terms, this means helping you to notice how stress actually feels in your body and learning new ways to handle it. By doing this, you start changing how your body automatically responds to stress. And over time, instead of quickly becoming overwhelmed or reactive, you develop resilience and clarity, which means you can be calmer and more confident when facing workplace challenges. So an important takeaway today is recognizing that are automatic stress reactions, such as feeling defensive, wanting to avoid conflict, or freezing up, are not inherently bad responses. Each one has a purpose. My goal is to help you understand these reactions without judgment and gently guide you towards better, more effective responses. So today's session is for everyone, no matter how your brain might naturally work. Whether you're neurotypical or you identify as neurodivergent, the tools we'll discuss can help anyone feel calmer, clearer, and more in control. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to start by looking how stress affects leadership. And then we'll simplify the science behind these stress responses. Introduce practical ways to shift your energy. And finally, wrap up with an easy interactive exercise to help you take your first step towards becoming the leader you truly want to be. So, have you ever felt your heart racing, your hands sweating, your stomach tightening up when you're about to give an important presentation or have a difficult conversation? These reactions are completely normal and part of what we call our body's stress response. There are 4 main stress reactions that everyone experiences at some point. We have fight, flight, freeze, and you'll see there's a little flop there as well. Flop can be seen as an extreme freeze response. And the last one is fawn. So fight is when your body gears up to confront the threat. You might feel irritable or defensive and ready to argue or protect yourself. Fight or flight is when your instinct is to escape the situation. So you might feel this overwhelming urge to leave or avoid confrontation altogether. Freeze happens when you feel stuck or unable to react. And it's that feeling of your mind going blank or just feeling completely overwhelmed and not knowing what to do next. Fawn is when you try to please others or smooth things over, even if it means ignoring your own needs. It's about avoiding conflict by being overly agreeable. These reactions aren't mistakes. They're your body's innate intelligence working to protect you. Thousands of years ago, humans had to quickly respond to threats like wild animals or dangerous situations to survive. Today, our nervous systems still use these ancient survival strategies, even in situations that aren't physically dangerous, like receiving criticism or public speaking. Research by Robert Sapolsky at Stanford University highlights how chronic stress activates our body's stress response system repeatedly, causing wear and tear on our physical and emotional health. Sapolsky's findings show that long-term exposure to stress hormones like cortisol negatively affect areas of the brain responsible for memory, focus, and clear decision-making. Basically, everything we need to function well at work. Additionally, Hans Selye's groundbreaking work on the general adaptation syndrome explains how chronic stress progresses through predictable stages: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion, further emphasizing how persistent stress can significantly impact a leader's effectiveness and health. The problem occurs when these stress reactions become chronic, meaning they happen often and over a long period of time. When you're constantly feeling stressed, your body's emergency system stays on high alert, and you can start having trouble thinking clearly, making good decisions, and interacting calmly with others. In leadership roles, chronic stress can be especially tough. Leaders who regularly experience high stress might struggle to listen well, understand others' perspectives, or respond thoughtfully. Instead, their decisions become reactive and impulsive. Long-term stress can reduce a leader's ability to inspire trust, communicate clearly, and encourage creativity among their team. That's why learning to recognize these stress responses in yourself is so important. When you're aware of what's happening in your body and mind, you gain the chance to pause, reflect, and choose a more helpful response. Rather than acting out of stress or anxiety, you can approach challenges with calmness and confidence, becoming a more effective and trusted leader. Do you know that when your body keeps track of stressful moments, it does this even if your mind does not clearly remember the stress? This happens because stress isn't just a mental experience. It's also physical. When something stressful occurs, your nervous system records not just what happened, but how it felt in your body at that moment. This kind of hidden memory is called implicit memory. So, unlike the memories you can consciously recall, such as remembering what you had for breakfast or details from your last vacation, implicit memories are stored beneath your awareness. So even though you might not clearly remember an event, your body can still react strongly to anything that feels similar. Bessel van de Kolk, a leading expert on trauma, explains in his influential book, The Body Keeps the Score, that implicit memories of stressful or traumatic experiences are stored physically within our bodies, influencing our reactions long after the original events have passed. Similarly, Dr. Peter Levine's extensive research into somatic experiencing has shown how unresolved stress and trauma become embodied, shaping our automatic responses in daily life. So here's a simple example. Suppose you once had a very tense interaction with a boss who was critical and harsh. Your body recorded that experience, even though you might have forgotten the details. Now, whenever a supervisor or colleague uses a similar tone of voice or facial expression, you might suddenly feel anxious, tense, or defensive. You're not just reacting to what's happening right now. Your body is recalling that past experience and projecting it on your current situation, even if you don't realize it. Another common example is public speaking. Maybe in school, you were embarrassed when you had to speak in front of your class. Now today, standing in front of a meeting or giving a presentation might trigger the same feeling of embarrassment or fear, even if you're well prepared and confident about your material. In addition, research on neuroplasticity, such as the studies documented by Dr. Norman Doidge in The Brain That Changes Itself, demonstrates that with targeted practices and corrective experiences, we can effectively reshape these implicit memories. In my coaching practice, I use these neurobiological insights to guide you through supportive exercises that create new, healthier responses, allowing your brain to naturally reorganize and rewire these hidden memories. This process empowers lasting change, reducing automatic reactions and enabling calmer, clearer responses in stressful situations. Over time, this approach gradually reduces or even removes the triggers entirely, allowing your nervous system to react in a more balanced and positive way. The result is lasting change, not just short-term coping, that empowers you to remain calm, clear-headed, and confident, even in challenging situations. So we all respond to stress and challenges differently. One useful way to understand these responses is through something called the 7 levels of energy. So just think of these 7 levels as gears in a car. Just like gears can help a car adjust to different driving conditions, these energy levels represent different ways you naturally respond to life situations. When your body senses a threat, even if it's just perceived and not real, it instantly reacts before your mind has fully processed what's happening. This immediate reaction highlights why it's so important to remodel implicit memories, helping to reduce these automatic triggers over time. Research by psychologist Daniel Goleman on emotional intelligence confirms that leaders who build greater self-awareness and emotional regulation skills are significantly more effective in their roles. Increased emotional intelligence helps leaders to remain calm, respond thoughtfully, and build better relationships with their teams. Similarly, neuroscientists like Dr. Richard Davidson and mindfulness experts like Dr. John Kabat-Zinn have extensively studied the positive effects of mindfulness practices. Their research shows that practices designed to enhance self-awareness significantly improve emotional resilience, reduce stress, and sharpen clarity and decision-making abilities. Effective leaders use a 2-pronged approach. First, remodeling your brain's responses to reduce automatic triggers. And second, learning to cognitively reframe your reactions once triggered. This means becoming aware when you're feeling triggered and building that ability to step back, to logically evaluate the situation, and then consciously choose the most helpful response using the 7-level model. Effective leaders become skilled at recognizing which gear they're in and then consciously shifting to a more helpful one based on the circumstances. For example, in an urgent crisis, a leader might intentionally shift from a decisive and assertive gear to resolve the situation quickly. Or if the scenario requires teamwork and collaboration, they might shift into a different gear that encourages openness, empathy, and effective communication. So learning to recognize and then consciously shift through these energy levels can transform how you handle stress, interact with your team, and achieve your goals. This ability makes you more adaptive, confident, and an effective leader who is capable of managing life's challenges with clarity and ease. So Now that we have explored a little bit about stress responses and how the energy levels shape our reactions, I'm going to introduce a practical system. It was designed by Bruce Schneider of IPEC. And this system is one that I use to specifically help leaders recognize and consciously improve their interactions at work. So the Energy Leadership Development System, ELDS, is a structured coaching approach designed to help leaders become more aware of their habitual patterns, consciously adjust their responses, and improve interactions at work. At the core of the ELDS are two assessments: the Energy Leadership Index, ELI, and the ELI 360. The ELI assessment helps you to understand your typical energy patterns, how you generally perceive and respond to various situations. It reveals your habitual reactions under stress and provides insight into how these patterns affect your leadership. The ELI 360 adds another layer by gathering feedback from your colleagues and team members. This broader perspective helps you to recognize how your energy and leadership style impact those around you. Research from the International Coaching Federation, ICF, consistently validates the effectiveness of structured leadership coaching systems like ELDS. ICF studies have shown that leaders who participate in professional coaching programs report significant improvements in emotional intelligence, communication skills, and stress management. These enhancements directly correlate with measurable improvements in team productivity, employee engagement, and organizational performance. Additionally, a comprehensive study published by the Harvard Business Review found that structured coaching interventions dramatically improve leadership effectiveness. Leaders participating in programs similar to ELDS reported increased self-awareness, better decision-making abilities, and enhanced interpersonal skills, resulting in stronger team cohesion and overall workplace success. Using insights from the ELI and ELI 360 assessments, ELDS coaching provides you with practical strategies to recognize and manage your energy patterns more consciously. With greater awareness, you can intentionally choose responses that are more productive, supportive, and aligned with your leadership goals. Over time, this intentional practice strengthens your ability to handle challenges calmly and clearly. It improves communication with your team and fosters a more positive, resilient work environment. Ultimately, ELDS equips you not just with theory, but with practical tools backed by validated research to drive sustainable improvements in your leadership effectiveness, workplace interactions, and overall well-being. So, a wellness-oriented culture doesn't just benefit individual employees. It enhances team cohesion, productivity, and overall organizational effectiveness. Creating this kind of culture starts with encouraging openness and psychological safety. Leadership plays a huge role in demonstrating vulnerability, being willing to share their own experiences, and showing genuine concern for their team's well-being. When leaders openly prioritize mental health and wellness, it signals to employees that it's safe, even encouraged, to discuss challenges and seek support as needed. So, with that in mind, Here are a few practical tips you can easily implement in your organization. Supporting wellness with simple enhancements, such as incorporating wellness days, calm spaces for breaks, indoor plants, broad spectrum lighting, just small environmental shifts that can ease stress and support overall well-being. Things like introducing mindfulness moments, such as, breathing exercises, or even just allowing or encouraging employees to take a moment to gather their thoughts and settle in at the beginning or end of meetings, during breaks, really providing room and space for employees to just take that moment to recharge. Even 3 breaths doesn't take a long time. 3 breaths has been shown to be enough to make a difference. Here's a big one that I like to encourage, which is have your entire team become familiar with the 7 levels of energy and then share their current state openly. What the 7 levels of energy really gives us is a concrete way, it's a common language for something that's often intangible. They've done studies and base emotions like anger and sadness. It might seem really obvious what those mean, but I can tell you after working with hundreds of clients that these all look a bit different for everyone. And sometimes we get so triggered, we don't even know what we feel. It's just this messed up bundle. And so no wonder there are so many miscommunications and misunderstandings, and it can feel so challenging to work with other people on our team. The 7 levels of energy takes all of these really esoteric, airy emotions that are open to it and reactions that are open to interpretation. And it makes them really concrete. And it gives us a common language to be able to use to explore what someone's feeling, what their reaction is, and why, and then be able to evaluate, to help even coach each other to evaluate where is a more helpful response. What would it look like if we came in at energy 3 versus 2? What would an energy 5 response look like? And it's a way of actually seeing our reactions and shifting it without judging it and without feeling attacked. So it can be very helpful to bring the 7 levels of energy and this awareness into the workplace across the board, as this promotes mutual understanding and supports more effective team communication. Flexible breaks can also be really helpful, just like taking that mini moment at the beginning of a meeting. It's just incorporating, it doesn't have to be a long hour nap, right? It's just a way of incorporating these little micro moments and checking in. What is my response right now? Am I triggered? What do I need to be able to perform my best in this moment? And really, leading by example is so important. Having your leadership team model supportive communication and inclusivity. And keeping in mind that we have to respect everyone's individual boundaries and recognize that not everyone may feel comfortable sharing openly. So participation in wellness initiatives should always remain voluntary, and everyone deserves equal respect and encouragement, whether or not they choose to engage. Behavioral health coaching further equips leaders with skills to consistently model and reinforce wellness practices. By learning to recognize your own stress triggers and energy patterns, you can respond more effectively to workplace challenges and set an example for your team to follow. Leaders who actively use these approaches create a ripple effect, empowering their employees to adopt healthier, more adaptive ways of responding to stress. Ultimately, fostering a wellness culture transforms your organization into a space where employees feel supported, valued, and motivated. The positive outcomes include better communication, stronger relationships, reduced stress and burnout, and enhanced overall performance. By committing to these practices, you're investing in a healthier, happier, and more effective workplace. So, guessing this all sounds pretty cool, right? And I know I've dropped a lot of theory on you. It probably all sounds great, but you're likely wondering what behavioral health coaching looks like in practice. With this in mind, I thought it would be nice to end with a practical exercise that can give you a small taste, like just an idea of one of the many things we might do in a coaching session. So before we begin, just please ensure that you have a journal or your Microsoft Word open or some kind of a note-taking tool ready. This exercise is designed to bridge your current state of health and wellness with how you show up to work as a leader and to create a detailed roadmap for your desired transformation over the coming year. So I'm just going to give you a moment. We have plenty of time to get set up and ready to write a couple things down. And whenever you're ready, I'm going to invite you to find a comfortable position and gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. We'll begin together. Just a few calming breaths, just to center here in the moment and begin to bring your attention inwards. You might become aware of the chair you're sitting on. You can even lay down if you want to. I have no way of knowing. And this works best if you're comfortable. So this is time for you. Make sure you settle in and get as comfy as possible. Feeling that surface beneath you. Maybe the floor under your feet. Possibly you become aware of the breath as it enters and leaves your body. Let's just do a little scan. Starting at the head, bringing our awareness down to the neck, shoulders, the back, chest and abdomen, arms and hands, legs and feet. Just notice the sensations in your body. Any areas of tension or relaxation, warmth or coolness, heaviness or lightness. You may even notice subtle sensations such as your heartbeat, temperature changes, or subtle shifts in tension and relaxation. Just take your time, bring awareness to how you feel right now without judgment or the need to change anything. And after a moment, whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and jot down a brief description of your current physical and emotional state. We're going to use this as your baseline. Just giving a few moments. Anyone who's still writing, when you're ready, before defining health and wellness intellectually, we're going to feel what health and wellness is for you physically and emotionally. So I'm going to ask you to reclose your eyes and think about a specific moment in your life when you felt truly healthy, well, and fully aligned. Just see what comes to you. When was I really healthy? Feeling really good in my life, good in my body, good in my emotions and headspace. Bring that up in your mind, almost like it's a scene from your favorite movie. I'm going to go back and pause on it. Remember where you were. If you were on your own or with someone, what you were doing. If you were outside, was it sunny or cloudy? Is it day or night? You feel a breeze on your face, your card or bird, using the senses to color the memory in. These sights, sounds, feelings. And as you do this, as you make this memory come alive, just notice, how do you feel in your body? What in your body lets you know that you feel truly healthy, well, and in alignment with your life? Any sensations of warmth, openness, ease, balance, or strength? Where do you feel these sensations most strongly? Maybe in your chest, your abdomen, your shoulders, your jaw. There are no right or wrong answers here. We're simply noticing. And whenever you're ready, I ask you to open your eyes and reflect on your personal definition of true health and wellness. Consider physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions. Write down what qualities represent your best self, particularly as a leader. Focus on qualities that help you to manage stress effectively and authentically connect with others. What would it look like if you were leading from this place of health, wellness, and alignment? Just allow this definition to emerge naturally out of your embodied awareness. You might just notice things as you do this, such as, how is this version of you standing or sitting? What is your posture like as you embody this role of a healthy leader? How does your body feel? Do you feel strong, relaxed, energized? And in this role that you've stepped into, observe your environment, the people around you, and your interactions. Notice the quality of these interactions and the ease with which you communicate. Pay attention to how you move and engage with your surroundings and how others respond to this version of you. So just make the visualization as vivid and detailed as possible and write it all down. Notice what it feels like to connect to this ideal state on every level. I'm going to give you another minute or so. If you're already done writing, you can just enjoy feeling into this state, feeling what whole healthy leadership feels like in the body. And if you're still writing, I'm going to give you another moment here. So now that you have this strong connection to what you look, sound, and feel like as a healthy, fully aligned leader, we're going to do a roadmap, a personal Google, shall we say, to outline how to get from your current state to the ideal state that you've just visualized. And we're going to allow your intuition and your embodied awareness to guide you as you work backwards from your ideal vision. So, in order to embody this ideal, healthy version of leadership in 1 year's time, where do you need to be in 6 months' time? In order to get to where you want to go in a year's time, Where do you need to be in 6 months' time? What specific and concrete milestones must you achieve by the 6-month mark to ensure that you're on track towards your vision? Identify clear bodily and emotional sensations that will indicate you're successfully moving towards your goal, and what action steps you need to be taking at the 6-month mark. Now, in order to get there in 6 months' time, where do you need to be in 3 months' time? Where do you need to be in 3 months to be on track to achieve your 6-month and 1-year goal? Feel into the body and notice what would let you know that you are on track in 3 months' time. How will you know in 3 months? If you're in the right part of the path, so maybe it's something like more energy, laughing 10 times a day instead of 5. It's going to look different for everyone. But we want signs, little signposts you can look out for to notice if you're on track. And what then is a concrete step, something actionable and measurable that you can do in 3 months to ensure that you get to where you need to be in 6 months? And when you're finished with 3 months, we're going to do the exact same thing for 1 month. In 1 month's time, 1 month from today, what will be a sign that you are on the right path and you're working towards your goal? What's something realistic that you can look for in 1 month's time? And then what is something concrete, measurable, and actionable that you can commit to doing in 1 month from now to get you to where you want to be in 3 months? After you're finished with 1 month, let's do the same thing for 2 weeks from now. So what is something you can put in place 2 weeks from now to ensure that you're where you want to be 1 month from now? Finally, let's look at today. What is one thing? Where's my finger? One thing you can commit to doing today, a clear action that can be the first step on your road towards being the healthiest, most aligned leader you can be. Something not too overwhelming, something that you're at least 90% sure you can fully commit to. That'll be the start of your journey. Trust your intuitive insights and embody sensations as you evaluate your roadmap, letting your own consciousness and your body's wisdom guide you.
So I want to thank you all so much for being here. Sherry, for your lovely facilitation and that wonderful practice that you guided us through. And I hope that you'll also continue to join us in our monthly webinars as we continue throughout the year. So thank you.